This is a story about Jimmy B and Julie too. Two good buddies with nothing better to do. Sit around the bar, get drunk and talk some shop. When they get started, it's really hard for them to stop. Julie B with likes of beer on ice. Jimmy B thinks a Bloody Mary would be nice. Once they decided to call on a couple friends. Thought this chat should be something doesn't end. Singing, come on, drink storm with me. Come on, drink storm.
Welcome to the next edition of Drinkstorming with Jim and Julie. This is our opportunity to spend some time with our members and partners and friends of Synergy, get to know a little bit more about them and what's happening in their lives. Totally unscripted, just sitting here having a chat with friends. So we want to welcome our good dear friend from forever, Woody Woodall. Cheers, Woody.
Cheers, Woody. We're doing great. It is so good to see you. You're one of those people that
Great to see y'all as well.
yeah, whenever we see you, you instantly bring a smile to someone's face, to my face for sure. You, as Julie said, a great friend of the group and a great friend to all of us personally. So really cool to see you. So where are you at? Are you out in the middle of the woods somewhere? Give us a little idea where you're at.
I am. My wife and I just were headed back to Virginia from Charlotte, North Carolina. We went to see the Zach Brown band this weekend and went to see them and Robert Randolph and jammed it out for a little bit and had a good time. May have drank a little too much bourbon this weekend, not sure. But it worked out okay. We did okay, but it was a blast and it was always nice. We actually went down and went to the show with her brother and his wife. So it's always nice to see the family that lives down in North Carolina and have good time with that. And now we're headed home to go back to work.
Well, and Woody, I know that you're retired from the day-to-day contracting world that you spent a few years in, but you're still finding some things to keep yourself busy in addition to traveling, right?
I am. We, our little company, Customer Focused Solutions, we've had a pretty good year. We've been pretty busy helping folks with customer issues, working with teaching some classes on transitioning from the office into the field, doing some sales training, doing some sales management training. So it's been a fun year. It really has. And still have some more to go. I'm actually here this coming weekend. I'm flying up to Halifax. We're going up to Nova Scotia for the MCA of Canada's conference. We're doing a little session up there. So it's exciting to get out of the country. I've never been to Nova Scotia.
I haven't either.
Nice.
I got to practice saying, you know. Don't you know?
Woody, all those things that you just talked about with customer focused solutions and where you're spending your time helping other people. Tell us a little bit about your background, how you got involved in the trade and how you then transferred all of your experience into what you do with customer focused solutions.
I was just as I was getting out of high school, it was pretty obvious I wasn't going to be able to afford college at the time. And so my dad told me, he said, man, if you're not going to college, you better get yourself a trade. I was working at Calvert Cliffs Nuclear Power Plant, met a bunch of pipe fitters down there, and they were kind enough to help me get into the industry. Went through my apprenticeship, graduated, taught apprentices for about 10, 12 years down there. And I really liked the teaching part of it. I really enjoyed the interaction and what was happening. Went through the industry. I actually was working mostly as a welder at the time, but there was a service company that needed a welder. I went to work for them, started working on the service side. At this time, I also had a little side job, was selling seafood on the side of the road in a truck. Both of my kids were small. I had some T-shirts made up. The front of the shirt said, my daddy has crabs, and on the back of it, it said Fourth and Rhode Island Avenue, where our location was. So, but anyway, we sold crabs for a while. I ended up falling. I was up on a ladder about 18 feet up, making a weld. I didn't tie the ladder off properly. Fell, busted my foot up. My boss called me up. He says, "Woody, eat one or two things." He says, "You can stay home, collect unemployment, workman's comp, or come in and I'll pay you to just come in and help out." And that's how I sort of got my introduction to the office. I really enjoyed the interaction, dealing with people, really helping our customers and our technicians in the field as a dispatcher at first, and then eventually started doing other things, and just kept working through the service industry, learning more and more about it. And I really like the idea of our guys, our team, trying to go out there and really come up with solutions and help people. And I just enjoyed it a lot. And I continued to teach it at our apprentice school for a number of years. Always kept in the back of my mind that maybe I might want to do that. Went through, I was fortunate enough, I got a chance to get active in our local association and then on the National Association with Mechanical Service Contractors of America. Very proud to be past chairman. Had a good friend like Jim Bartolotto on the board with me, so we had a lot of fun doing that. And then, I decided to retire from the day-to-day of pipe fitting and service work, and I thought I'd like to try to see if customer-focused solutions, if I could make a go of it. Just wanted to see if it would work, and darned if it didn't. It surprised the heck out of me that there was actually a need for a schlomoke like me out there helping people. And so it worked out okay, and we've been adding classes and developing programs and doing things all sort of focused around customer service and sales, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm a very lucky guy. That's for darn sure. And don't know how much longer I'm going to do this. I keep getting pressure from home. Back away a little bit. Say no once in a while. But I just have too much fun doing it, to be honest with you.
So Woody, I do remember the phone call that you placed to me many years ago regarding MSCA, and if you wanted to nominate me to get involved in one of the committees, and you're one of those guys that people just can't say no to, right? I mean, look at that. You got the cigar going, you got your cool lid. And of course I said yes. And you mentioned all the things that you were involved in, have been involved in. I don't know if you know this, but this goes out to like millions of subscribers to the Synergy Group. So for those people that are out there and they're saying, well, how busy as it is, can I afford the luxury of getting involved in these different associations or groups, or, the big friend you've been at Synergy? What would you say to them? I mean, what you were a busy guy too, but you found a way to do it. What did it do for you?
Jim, honestly, I would say, how can you not afford to do this? You have the opportunity to get out there and work. And for you and I were on the board together when we were on the board together, and still the existing board that's at MSCA or local associations, or even local charities that are around your house or community or whatever. How can you not afford to help other people, number one? But number two, you get back tenfold what you put into it. And I know that sounds like a line, but it's the God's honest truth. I had a chance, and I still have the chance, to work with the best and the brightest in the industry. I saw all of the great, smart, and innovative things that all of those folks have done, and I've taken all of that stuff and I've stole every bit of it, and I've made my companies better, and now I got a chance to help other companies better through some consulting work, and it's amazing what you see. You also see some of the goofy things that we do, and you learn to steer away from those goofy things and keep people from doing that kind of stuff. But I would highly encourage anybody to get involved, volunteer, give of yourself in any way, shape, or form. We all have gifts. We all have things that we can give back to people. And I think if we can create those moments, if we can create those times when we can be impactful in any way, and it doesn't have to be work-wise, it could be whatever, home, whatever. I think we all should take advantage of it.
Is that what you love about teaching too, Woody? Just
Exactly. You know, Julie, I actually went to a function at my home local back in Washington, D.C. here not too long ago, and I had a young man come up, and we used to do these things called expectations for the apprentices, where we shared with them what was expected of them and how we wanted them to work together and work as a team and become a strong bond. And anyway, this young man came up to me and he says, you know, Mr. Woodall, he goes, I always know I'm old when people call me Mr. Woodall first. You know, Mr. Woodall, you spoke at my graduation, and I remember every word you said, and it has impacted me and my family and the way I look at life. And you know what? I just wanted to thank you. And so here I am at all these pipe fitters, all these, you know, macho guys around there, and I'm tearing up and all this other stuff. You got, oh, look at Woody, he's getting all mushy on us.
We've never seen a mushy Woody. You know,
But
Woody, I know that
you guys have. Go ahead.
you have also, I would imagine that you have taken some of those pieces and you've incorporated that into your personal life too. I know that you have coached your grandson.
Yeah.
So you're probably utilizing some of those training skills, and boy, I just can't even imagine how exciting that would be, and how you pump those kids up.
It's when I was, I mean, I got a chance to coach my son and my daughter in sports and things like that. And then I got a chance, now I've got a chance to teach my grandchildren some of the same things and their buddies and stuff like that. It's funny. I got a great picture that my daughter took of me, and I've got my team. These guys are like about 6 years old at the time, you know. And so I'm kneeling down and I'm talking to them. I'm doing a rah-rah thing, you know. We just gotta have fun, guys, and all of this other stuff. And one of the little boys, she got several pictures of it, several copies of it, and gave it to some of the other parents. And I was over with my daughter visiting those folks, and sure enough, sitting in their den was this picture of me with the boys. And she goes, I love that picture. She goes, you were the best coach we ever had. And I said, well, we only won 2 games that year, so I certainly couldn't have been the best coach you've ever seen, but we certainly had fun, that's for sure.
Hey, that speaks volumes that someone can say you were the best coach we ever had. And it wasn't because we won. It was because of the impact that you had on the kids, no doubt.
Well, Julie, I have been, without a doubt, if there's a luckier guy on this earth, I want to meet him. That's for sure.
Well, Woody, that what you just described is really the way that you connect with people, right? Whether they're 5, 6-year-old kids playing baseball or 25-year-old pipe fitters, service technicians going out. And we've had the pleasure at Synergy seeing you at work with the customer service program. And you know, it's interesting because I think in our industry, we think, well, if we get a really talented technician that can fix everything, we're good, right? But you take a whole different slant. When you've done that, I mean, I know you've taken a lot out of it, but what do you think the attendees, the technicians who are there at your customer service class, what are you looking for them to take away? What do they walk away with?
I think all of the guys go to lots of different trade schools and seminars and classes, and they learn how to fix things that I could never fix when I was working. You know, just brilliant guys. But we sometimes forget about the soft skills, the simple things that really make a truly rounded, not just mechanic, but a rounded person as we're going through those things. And I try to, in these classes, as best I can, to help them understand the importance of being a genuine, kind person, not just to the customers, but also to their internal customers, which are are the people in the office, all the dispatchers, the accountants, you know, things like that. It's funny that there was a Jim, I'm sure you probably sat in on it. We had Southwest Airlines come in, and they talked about how they script and what they're looking for with people, and they always make, when they're interviewing a candidate, they make that candidate set out with the reception. And then they come in and they interview him and they send him off. Then they bring the receptionist in and they say, how did that person treat you? Were they kind? Were they friendly? Were they chatty? Because they have a firm belief that the way you treat people, like waiters or doormen or maid, you know, whatever, if the way you treat those people is truly the way you are. And so you never know when you need to be kind. You never know when you need to be there and focused on what's happening. So you do it all the time and you got the whole thing covered. So that's kind of what we try to talk about a little bit, Jim, in our classes. And that's one of the reasons why we develop a touch point analysis, so that we can identify all of those moments throughout the service cycle and can identify how do we as a team want to handle that, and what's the best way to be impactful on the client, for the customer.
You know, Woody, I'm laughing when you said that you couldn't fix a lot of stuff. One of the best technicians I ever had the pleasure of working with many years ago, Tony. Tony wasn't the sharpest technician, and we had a lot of callbacks on him, but the customers loved him so much. His people skills were so great. Oh, you know, that system's down again, but I know it's not Tony's fault. So if you could just have him come back, right? Because he must have been hitting on all those touch points you talked about.
Well, and that's what for me, I think that's the only thing that saved me. Is I like to BS a little bit, talk about, hey, how's your son's baseball game, or how you hitting the golf ball, or you know, you got to do all of those little things too, and fix stuff.
What you just said, Woody, about if you just do that all the time, then you've got it covered. You don't have to pick and choose when you're connecting or when you're showing kindness or realizing in the moment. I think you used to call them moments of truth. All of those yes. interactions, yes. right? There's a Woodyism. There's a lot of Woodyisms that stuff sticks. And I think you make such a genuine connection with the people who are in the field because you lived it. You get it. And they connect with you because they know that you understand what they do. Over the years, Woody, have you seen a lot of...
I appreciate that, Julie.
Oh, it's absolutely true. You're such a genuine person, and that comes through. And I think people just naturally, as Jim said at the beginning, they see your face and they just smile because they know that you care. And I think that's what you try to impart in your classes.
When you look at a head this big, you got to laugh a little bit.
I'm trying to get past that hat. I've seen you wear those. How many of those kangaroo hats do you have?
I must have about 6 or 7 of them. Julie actually was kind enough when I was working with you guys in a previous life. She was kind enough to send me a gift certificate to, I must have 6 or probably a dozen of them, Jimmy.
Love it.
So Woody, you've had a chance to spend some time with us. I mean, when you think of Synergy and our members and people who experiences, what kind of words come to mind? We always love to ask our podcast guests what when they think of Synergy, what comes to mind?
You know, when I meet somebody that is part of the Synergy group, there's a level of professionalism, I think, within that group that is unmatched in any other group that I've ever worked with. And of course, I know the leaders of Synergy quite well, and I know the direction you guys are taking it, how much you care about your members, and they're more than just members. They become friends to you guys after a while. But what I think of as far as Synergy is concerned is professionalism, top-notch best in class. And without a doubt, if they're in a specific area somewhere, you know, I've got people asking me all the time, where do I find XYZ? You know, a company in Atlanta, Georgia, or wherever. I recommend they reach out to Synergy and find out who the Synergy member is there. And I said, that's the best place to start, always.
Oh, that's really sweet of you. Thank you. Very nice to hear. We feel the same way, and we've the passion that you bring day in, day out to what you do has impacted a lot of us in a positive way. And your training goes well beyond just customer service or technical. I remember a day when you gave this gentleman some training in a gambling. I don't even know what the hell game that was we were playing. I put in $20 and I had, what was that called, that game?
Let it ride.
Let it ride. Okay, yeah.
We had just finished an MSCA something and board meeting, I think it was. And so we were over at the local casino, and Jim and I had a couple of drinks. I said, come on, Jim, sit down and let's play Let It Ride. We sit down.
Coaching, you were coaching me.
And Jim and I are sitting there, and the way the game goes is you get 2 cards in your hand, and then you put 3 bets up and different things. But anyway, to make a long story short, the higher your hand, the more of a payout you get. So Jim draws out 2 10s right off the bat. And I said, good start, Jim. We're doing good. The dealer turns over another 10. And I'm going 3 10s. And I reach over 10. I said, Jim, if she turns over another 10, I'm going to be hooping and hollering like an idiot here in a minute. Sure enough, she laid down another 10. And man, I'm jumping up and down and hooping and hollering. Jim's going, hey, what the hell we just do? I don't know what the hell happened.
All I know is she started.
You just made a lot of money. He goes, I'm buying dinner tonight. I said, okay,
yeah,
all right.
All I remember is chips were coming my way, and then she stopped sending the chips, and you're like, well, wait a minute. No, he had the secret bonus one. She goes, oh, you're right. And then more chips were coming my way. That $20 turned into over $1,000 and bought us a nice steak dinner. I know that.
Yeah.
So thank you for the tip.
Yeah, it was fun. Always fun, Jimmy.
Yeah.
It's always fun with you, Woody. You bring the life to the party, that's for sure.
Well, sometimes.
Well, we're really lucky that we have people like you who helped us along the way when we started Synergy. Just, interactions, things that you've said and have taught us that have stuck in our heads. So thank you for being awesome and for being a great inspiration to us.
Well, I will tell you, Julie, and I talked earlier about you would get back tenfold. For me, my friendship with you and Jim and everybody, you will be lifelong friends. No matter which directions we go, no matter what happens, you guys are always right here, right in my heart.
Same, Woody.
Same, man. Well, Woody, cheers to you and all that you've done
Woody.
to just make the most out of life. We love you, buddy. We'll look forward to seeing you down the road in a future session.
Thanks, guys. Whatever I can do to help, let me know. And hope everybody stays safe and happy, and everything that you ever wanted comes to life.
Well, speaking of safe, I think I just saw a bear over your corner, so you just may want to go see if Pat's in good shape.
He's chasing Pat, so he's all right. He's all right. He's got something to do. We're all right.
Come on, drink storm with me. Come on, drink storm with me.